Hi Virgo, welcome into your mid-January 2023 Money Career Tarot reading. I do want to thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope you're doing amazing, but do keep in mind as we proceed that this is general for the remainder of your month, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And I more than appreciate the love and support in the form of likes, comments, and of course subscriptions to the channel if you haven't joined this Virgo tribe already. I do want to, on a side note, apologize briefly for being a bit late with your reading specifically. I did have to do it a few times and wasn't willing to settle for a lack of perfection. Interesting. I feel like that was even a message for you all the meanwhile. But as you can see, I did pre-pull two small money and career oracles to speak upon the remainder of your month, and then two gold foil tarot cards to pretty much split up the remainder of your month into two halves. And then we'll further clarify with a small everyday tarot. But let's jump right into it and see what we got for you. Beginning with passionate success, absolutely beautiful. So the remainder of January highlights the fact that your passion, your hard work, all the meanwhile is leaving you ultra successful. Okay, I feel like I said that really weird. Ultra successful. And I do feel like people are impressed. I did see lasting impression at one point when pre-shuffling, but it felt like these two were on point for the main energies. We also have making progress. I feel like something that you've been seeing giving you stagnant success, or just, I feel like that was horrible wording, not progressing in the way you desire, or just moving quite slowly as far as its growth goes, is now making more progress for oneself. It feels like a blockage could be removed for oneself or multiple, but it's a time of the month where you're gaining abundance all the meanwhile, okay? Bear with me. But the second one we have is beyond talented. And the remainder of January highlights the fact that you are one talented soul in regards to what you're doing for work at this time, or in regards to what you're looking to acquire, or both. I feel like a lot of Virgos drawn to the reading have become content at this point along their path with overworking oneself, but Spirit's saying that's not the way of your future. We need to find a balanced way to accomplish what we feel is necessary, right? To pay the bills and have your savings increased all the meanwhile, for the comfort of your future, for that stability that you desire so wholeheartedly. But we need to, again, find that balance so that you don't feel ultra burnt out and stressed all the meanwhile. Because I do feel like there are certain factors that are going to be highlighted in the remainder of January, whether it's people of annoyance or one particular person you live with and or work with, the way a company is run or a department, the way somebody is that you live with, I want to say, potentially a bit sloppy or just irritable or loud, or just, I feel like you're dealing with one if not multiple people that you just don't like. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. And so with the highlight of who and what you can't control per se, right, isn't within your grasp of control, it pushes you to ask oneself, well, how do I cope with this, right? Do I need to make a change moving forward, whether it's moving to a new place of residence and or acquiring a new job, right? Potentially needing to get a business location set up for oneself so you don't have to work from home. Might make things easier for oneself, but does obviously add an expense to one's plate. But it's going to push you to ask yourself some important questions, right? And potentially move towards change in the future. You might already have this, on one's mind. But I also feel like it's pushing you to ask oneself simplistically, keywording, simplistically, what is in my control, right? How do I feel better in the situation, right? How do I feel more in control all the meanwhile? Bear with me. Because I feel like somebody is energetically affecting you all the meanwhile. And so that takes a highlight, but I do feel as if there are moments where you decide to clean up or tidy up. And this is one of the many small ways where you're going to try to feel more in control. Does that make sense? But we're beginning with the Wheel of Fortune for one of the two cards. Wow, I keep almost losing my voice. But I do feel as if this first half of the remainder of your month highlights the fact that the wheel is churning for you. I really do feel like these are coinciding quite nicely. While the wheel turns in your favor, you're seeing this progress, this growth for oneself feeling quite gratifying. It feels like there are a lot of Virgos drawn to the reading where any online work is thriving. Okay, you're making an impact and just getting your voice out there, your creations out there, or one in particular. But I do feel like those of which working a day-to-day job, you're seeing people impressed in just acknowledging the fact that you are to be respected and the fact that you know what you're doing, right? This could also be the wheel turning in your favor, a bit of luck being on your side in regards to acquiring a new job. I did get the Ace of Cups for this spot at first. So I do feel like there's a focus on or the beginning of a new opportunity for oneself. This could be a new business idea that is meant to leave your cup overflowing moving forward along your path. But we also have the Eight of Wands to speak upon the last chunk of your month, okay? Now, I do feel as if this is going to be more of a fast-paced time for you, a lot more to accomplish, bouncing from one situation, one task to the next. I did get the Knight of Swords for this spot at first, but this felt more on point. A lot of communicating, but speak with, they're saying conviction. Speak with levels of passion, but don't overdo it, right? Be selective with your wording and don't overthink it all the meanwhile. But there's a highlight at this point to not speak so quickly that it overwhelms the viewers or who you're trying to convey a message to. Any meeting of importance in the second half of the month in general, you will impress. Even if you do slip up a little bit or get a bit nervous, there's a focus on the fact that you don't need to be perfect, even though there's a strive for certain levels of perfection in more than one way in the second half of the month. But I do feel like there's a lot of running around, a much quicker, faster paced time for you in comparison to, I want to say the first half of the month, but also this first half of the second half, okay? Let's further clarify and dive deeper, bear with me, with a small everyday. We have the Eight of Pentacles, beautiful. So I do feel like, okay, on one end, there's a focus on the different sides of you through your work, right? As well, potentially those who you're bonding with and or meeting for the first time in the second half of the month. But the Eight of Pentacles talking about how through your hard work, your passion, and they're saying your drive and your knowledge and wisdom up until this point along your path, it's leaving this beginning to the remainder of your month very, very successful, right? Where the wheel once again, and for some, multiple wheels churning in your favor. They're saying the clouds are clearing. The clouds are clearing and you're beginning to realize or remember what you're capable of, right? Spirit's saying at this point along your path, you've barely begun to touch your potential, but you're meant to, at certain points moving forward, exceed that. And that's going to take a highlight. And so some of you might ask oneself, well, all the meanwhile, am I able to do just that where I am, right? Whether it's that job or where you're running your business, needing to give oneself the clarity you deserve, okay? Potentially need to dig deeper, ask some important questions to oneself and other people, but can I go the distance within this opportunity, right? And do I have the true levels of comfort and peace that I deserve and need to produce the best quality work where I'm living, all right? But the number 33 coming into play, I feel as if, ooh, look at that, the Six of Wands as well. So I feel like there's levels of victory to be highlighted, but it's almost as if at times you won't fully recognize or acknowledge this victory or give yourself the credit you deserve because you're so caught up or focused on the imperfections or just what's out of your control, right? So Spirit's saying, take a hot second, stop and smell the roses and give yourself the credit you deserve as a strong, hardworking, victorious Virgo. Beautiful. I love that, victorious Virgo. But I do feel as if these two definitely speaking upon the remainder, the last chunk of the second half of the month for you, but mainly the Three of Pentacles. There's an anticipation highlighted in this Three of Wands. You wanting the ship to come in quicker, whether it's a new opportunity, more success for oneself, but again, needing to highlight and acknowledge, be grateful for the abundance you're gaining at this time, the progress that's taking place. But especially in this fast-paced part of the month with this Eight of Wands, you're being noticed. They're saying in all your glory, in all your glory. And I feel like people are acknowledging that you know what you're doing. And it's time for you to gain more respect in regards to a continuing job, a business you've been working towards, a side hobby even. I feel like it's going to mean more to you than you'd even realize after watching this reading when you gain that acknowledgement, attention, respect, and you see growth and abundance from it all the meanwhile. Okay? It's falling right for the middle. 1010 and 1011, look up those angel number meanings. The Seven of Wands and the Magician, beautiful. I do feel as if the remainder of January for you highlights the fact that you do have the ability to manifest at this point along your path in a very conquering way about your energy at certain points, but don't over exude, overdo it, and burn oneself out. Think about who you're communicating with, especially in this last chunk. Is in regards to everybody, different types of energy, people digesting your messages, what you're trying to convey at that time, the information differently, right? And that will help you succeed more so all the meanwhile. But I do feel like more so the Seven of Wands for the center, because I feel like there's a lot coming towards you, a lot expected from you. I need to protect your energy throughout the remainder of the month. But Spirit's saying, as we did get the Seven of Cups in the original pre-shuffle, but I didn't take it. There's a lot to accomplish in the second half of the month, but it's nothing you can't handle. And I feel as if Spirit's reminding you, you've been prepared for this up until this point along your path, all right? And so again, it's the second half of the month where you have a lot going on, very fast paced towards the end, but the wheel is turning in your favor as there's true levels of passionate success. Your hard work pays off, and you're reminded you are beyond talented, my victorious Virgo, all right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy the remainder of your month, and I'll see you next time.